Alright. In light of recent events with George Floyd, the protests, and the riots that have broken out throughout this country, I have this to say. What happened to George Floyd is unacceptable. It will never be acceptable. It is probably unforgivable for that family. And to the George Floyd family, to the Floyd family in general, my sympathies go out to you. What happened to him is unacceptable. It is murder, outright. Any attorney, any officer will tell you that was plain out murder. The cell phone footage, body cam, the security cameras, all that footage does not help that officer's case. And the other three that stood there as he did that, they are being held accountable as well. Proper actions have been taken. But with all the protests, now with it being peaceful, there's no problem with them. Peaceful protests is always the better way to go. But what I'm seeing on the news and in media and on social media, the protests where you're blocking the roads, or how should I say this, turning into riots. There is no need for that. Nothing has ever been solved with a violent protest. And what I'm seeing, and this really makes me angry, really does not help anybody. It just makes your life a whole lot harder. What I'm seeing with officers being killed throughout this country, numerous officers being killed, I should add, for just sitting in their car or walking to their vehicle, that it is uncalled for. And just the other day, I saw a post on Facebook of a man wearing a shirt that said, it either said, kill all cops, or all cops should be killed. To that person, grow up, get an education. Just because an officer puts on a uniform does not make them any better or any worse than you or me. They are still a human being. They just have a job to do. They have a demanding job to separate the criminals from the civility. And what I'm seeing with all these officers being killed, it really ticks me off, for lack of better words. One dirty officer, one corrupt, dirty cop does not stand for the entire department, nor does that stand for all law enforcement within the United States of America. It doesn't. Yes, we are all angry. We are all furious about what transpired to Mr. Floyd. And I, for one, am truly appalled by those videos. But we need to, as a society, learn to, if we're going to protest, we do it peacefully for things to change. It takes one person to start a change. It takes one action to start a change. But to do riots and destroy other people's lives or livelihood or rack up over $2 million in damages just because you're upset with the recent events, that is strictly uncalled for. It is time for people to start acting like adults. We're not in elementary school, we're not in middle school, and we're not in high school. This is what I would expect from a high school or a middle or elementary school. We need to grow up, act like adults, get the full information of the case before you start acting like an idiot and decide to start destroying livelihoods, businesses. Just because you're angry about a certain situation does not make you above the law to start destroying or vandalizing other property. And for all those that think officers should be killed, go get an education. Because they're the first ones you call when you're getting robbed. They're the first ones you call when you hear somebody break into your house. Yes, you may handle the situation before they get there, but you still call them. So before you go getting angry at every single law enforcement officer, ask yourself this: if we didn't need them, why do we call for them?